7 songs every Friday. Every Friday, 7 songs. So link in the description if you want to check that out. If you want to hear what I dropped this past Friday, yesterday, then link in the description. I'd greatly appreciate if you check that out and let me know what you think. I'm really proud of the work I did with this particular pack. So go check that out. Let me know what you think. And then you can go to my YouTube Shorts tab if you want to get a taste of all the music I've been putting out. Just some little clips. And go to my YouTube Shorts tab. Just listen to some clips. So yeah, link in the description. Link in the description. Link in the description. Okay. Oh, don't forget to like the video if you like the video. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing. It's nice. It helps me get pushed into the algorithm. Promotes my channel, promotes my videos. I'm trying to grow, guys. My mom is always asking me, when are you gonna start getting paid? Because these past few months I've just been getting paid the same. It's always the same amount of money. So she's like, when is your income actually gonna increase? It's a good question. The increase when the views increase. So when you like my videos, it helps. It helps a lot. So if you want to support the channel, like the video, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I was talking to this girl. We're just talking about life, about relationships, raising children, stuff like that. And it made me realize something. She's like 28. I'm turning 24, which is crazy. I used to be a kid, man. I used to be young. I'm getting up there. But yeah, I'm getting the sense that she is kind of interested in me. But she's just trying to see if she's trying to see if I'm a good fit. I don't think I am. I think she's 28. I'm turning 24, so there's a 4-year gap there. I don't know. I keep my history with women has always been like these older women. I want someone younger than me. I'm tired of always going older. It'd be nice to get someone younger than me for once. But yeah, she's a nice girl though. She's sweet. It's just yeah, you have to be very selective. We are currently in a basket showing you what but yeah, the reason why it's important to be selective is, look, you can get yourself into a decent marriage where you're staying together and you got kids and you got a happy family, but maybe the relationship isn't what you want it to be. I've had conversations with people that give warnings about marriage, where they're like, well, marriage is hard and But then you also hear stories about how marriage is great and they're happy and they're really happy. So it's like, why are some people having one experience and other people having another experience? Like, what determines that? And it's all about the person you pick for yourself. And you have to, I think some people get themselves into positions where they run out of maybe they were I'm sure that sounds rough. in Japanese, the word for gloves is debukuro. It sounds like they're saying tablecloth, debukuro. Debukuro. Hold on. But the word for gloves in Japanese is debukuro. That's a random information. I don't know why I told you that. But anyway. What was I even saying? Why do I do this to myself? Just go on random tangents and I just forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, like, people mess around, they waste time. They don't prioritize finding a good partner and making a family. And then by the time they want to do that, it's basically too late. There are a lot of women right now in very scary positions where, here are the numbers, right? Women over 30, less than half actually get married and have children. Once you're over 30. Less than a half. Yeah, the narrative you get told. So those are the stats. The narrative you get told that you can just, pursue your career, then get married in your 30s and have kids in your 30s. Like, as if that's easy. You can just do that and there's nothing to it. It's not true. It's very hard to find a good partner. And you're gonna have to settle. A lot of women end up having to settle because they're fooling around. Your youth is your currency. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be capitalizing on your youth. When you're young, especially as a woman, guys have options, man. Guys, the thing about guys, right? When you're young, you're pretty much useless. So the girls aren't going to be that interested in you. You don't have your life together. But as you mature, number one, guys can have children at basically any age. You can have kids in your 50s, 60s, 70s. Didn't Robert De Niro have a kid recently? Some old guy had a kid very recently. In his 70s. And it's like, there are a lot of stories like that. Old men having kids. Because, he's still producing sperm. Whereas women, like, when you're like 30, your eggs start running out. And 35 is a geriatric pregnancy. There's all sorts of risks associated with that. So it's just not wise to be like out here planning to have kids in your 30s. You should be having kids when you're most fertile, and then there's the least risk. But anyway, when you're not acting quickly enough, what ends up happening is, like I said, less than half of women in their 30s actually end up getting married and having children. So a lot of them end up single and childless, or getting into these relationships, and you might get married, but it's not going to be your first choice. You're going to have to, in a lot of cases, settle. Not all cases. I really do wish the best for the ones that are finding themselves, because it might not even be your fault. Sometimes life just happens, and there's all sorts of unfortunate events that lead people down unfortunate paths. But you have to be wise. You have to be very wise in your decision making. So this is not conventional advice. It's not sanctioned advice. But I was thinking about how me as a young dude, 23, 24, I don't have my life together. I'm working on it. I'm a YouTuber who does all these other things, but it's not stable by any means, and I'm hoping to make it so. But for now, I don't have much to offer any woman that's looking for stability, that's looking for a proper life. I'm working towards that, and who knows how long it'll take me to get there. Who knows? But I'm working hard towards that goal, right? But I would say for a young 20-something-year-old girl, you shouldn't be afraid to date older men, because our society tells us that that's wrong, which is stupid, because that's been normal until 2 seconds ago. Women are just naturally attracted to older men. They're mature. They have their finances figured out. They have they're just well put together. They've made the mistakes. They've gone through life, and they're just men who have a grip on themselves, and that's why they're more attractive. And guys in their 20s, what's the constant complaint you hear from girls about guys that are around their same age? Like, oh, these guys they're so unserious and they're so disorganized and they're so this. And there's truth to that, you know. A lot of guys are figuring out. I mean, you gotta be honest about that, fellas. You gotta be honest. You don't have anything figured out. Not to say that dating someone your own age can't work. I'm thinking from a young woman's perspective. She has to put herself first. She has to do what's in her best interests. So if like she's approached by some guy in his 30s and he's got a job, you know, he can give her life, he can put a roof over her head and give her a family and take care of them. She doesn't have to worry about finances and stuff like that. Why not take that? That's such a great deal. I'm not saying this because like, oh, I'm this non-committal guy who just wants an excuse to run around and have sex and not commit to anyone. Obviously, like if you watch the channel, you know I'm Christian, celibacy, no sex before marriage, stuff like that. And I'm looking to get married, but again, it's about from the woman's perspective, looking out for your best interests, because we see these scary statistics that we like to ignore about a lot of this growing amount of women that are single and childless and are probably going to remain single and childless. Because once you cross a certain age, once you're in your 30s, it's very difficult, guys, to now scramble around and try to find a partner that works, that you like and they like you and you're happy and you can have children and all these sorts of things. It's very difficult. You don't want to wait until then. But that's the social messaging to young women. Well, just pursue a career. Then in your 30s, you can then start working. That's when you start to think about getting married, which is terrible advice for women. Their time horizon is different than ours. They're running on a very, very, very quick clock. So they have to make decisions a lot faster than men. Men can fool around and do this and do that. And if I wanted to, I could wait until my 40s to find a young girl, get married to, and have children. Women don't have that same option. You know, as an older woman, you meet a guy your age that you like. You're not only competing with women your age for him, you're competing with women younger than you for him. And men are just naturally attracted to younger women. So it's like it's an uphill battle, and it's depressing when you think about it. So that's why I would say to the ladies, like, if you're in your 20s, you're young, don't waste time with young dudes that don't have it figured out. Go for the older guys. It's fine. Like, it's normal. That's how it's always happened. That's been human history. It was actually more on the extreme side in a lot of cases where much older men would be dating teenagers and stuff like that. So obviously that's crazy. We don't advocate for that. But you know, if you're of the legal age, you meet a guy in his 30s, whatever age, it's up to you. I think if you're an adult, you're a consenting adult, it's up to you to make your own decisions. Obviously, like, you don't want him to be too old. You want to be able to do things together, and you have to think about your family as well. You don't want it to mess up the family dynamics and like having this geriatric senior around the family all the time. So I mean, it's up to you, but I would say just practice discernment and wisdom. But I think like a 10-year gap, something like that, that's fine. Honestly, it's fine. It's normal. People try to make it seem like it's not normal. That happens a lot, even in this day and age. And it works. Women are attracted to those men. Those men are attracted to the women. It's fine, as long as they're consenting adults. So you gotta look out for number one. Well, you're not number one. I think you should put others before yourself. It's not good to be a narcissist, self-centered, but obviously like you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're miserable. Let me put it that way. So I'd encourage women to pursue the person that can give them the future that they want. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking about this girl I was talking to. She's 28. I'm like, she shouldn't be talking to me. She should be talking to some other guy who can actually give her like a future. I can't do that right now. She'd have to wait for me to get my act together, and she does not have that time. She's 28. She's about to hit 30 very soon. So she needs to hurry up and find a good guy. She's still young, so she still has time. She can still have kids and all that sort of stuff. But she's cutting it close. So if I was her, I wouldn't be focused on me. I'm just being real. I'm just thinking to myself, what do I have to offer this woman? I don't know. Vibes. We can have like intellectual discussions and what, but it's like that's the extent of it. I can't give you much more than that, and that's not much right now for her and what she needs in her life. With regards to me, I think I don't know what the future holds, but I think I might be the guy that gets to his 30s and then finds someone, because then maybe by then I'll have like I'm hoping I'll be financially secure long before then, but you know, so the general trajectory is your 30s when you like life starts to make sense for you and you start to put the pieces together. And I'm okay with that. I'm working hard to get there sooner, and I'm praying to get there sooner so that I can have all sorts of adventures and do things in my 20s. But yeah, we'll see. In all things we thank the Lord, right? But yeah, like I said, I've always found myself in situations with girls that are older than me, like 4 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, why? I just want someone at least like my age or younger. I can do younger though, I can do younger. I mean, I'm still pretty young, so everyone's young right now. People my age are like, well, I'm turning 23, I'm turning 24. Like 18, 19 isn't weird, right? If I was dating like an 18-year-old, is that weird? I don't know. You let me know. Is that weird? I guess these days people will say that's weird. But I feel like I'm 24, turning 24. How's that weird? I don't think it's weird. It would be weird if she was still in high school. That would make me a bit uncomfortable. But if she's out of school, even if she's 18, I just feel like the gap isn't that big. Some people would say that's crazy. I don't think so. I think that's fine. But yeah, it just makes me think about how I should really work hard to make sure that I get my act together and get my finances, my mind, my body, everything right, so that I can attract a nice lady. Again, like, it's very, very important that you find like someone who you get along with. It's not enough that she's, you know, like you can get to a point where you're just like, this will work. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. And for some people, that's more than enough. But for me, what I'm looking for in a marriage is something that I want our marriage to be like a truly fulfilling relationship in many areas, be it sexually, be it relationally. So when I think about the sort of conversations we have, the sort of activities we do together, like in terms of just having fun and enjoying each other's company, I want that. Not everyone has that. That's not as common as it should be. Some people are in relationships that are like, functional, but not as magical as they start out as, and then things just degrade over time. Sometimes that's just because of lack of effort. Like, you're just not putting in as much effort as you should be, so you're getting what you pay for essentially. If you're not putting in the effort at all, you can't expect to have great things. But then sometimes it's just you're not as compatible as you like to believe. But when I say you're not as compatible, I'm not saying get divorced. I'm saying you it's different. So there's a barrier there. Maybe that can be worked on. I don't know. You can compromise and then come to some sort of agreement, maybe. But it's always good to pick wisely. When you're in that phase of picking partners, pick wisely. Pick someone that can make you happy and fulfill your needs. But this is like I said earlier, that's what your youth is for. You can't start doing that in your 30s when time is running out. As men can do that. The ladies not so much. But even guys, I recommend guys also don't faff about. Don't dilly-dally. Like, be purposeful, be intentional, move quickly. Don't take your youth for granted. Like, oh, I have all the time in the world. Like, that's not that's not my mentality. My mentality is like, I want to find a good woman as soon as possible. It'd be nice if I could find someone that's just like, I'll take a bet on you. You're kind of broke right now, but I think that you make something of yourself. That'd be nice, but that's a dream, man. That's I know that it's not all about money and all these sort of things, but also realistically, like, the women are looking for the guys that they can depend on and she can trust. She can let her guard down around him. Like, I trust that you. I have faith that you can take care of me. So if you're not that, then she has no reason to pay any mind to you. So I'm not ruling out the possibility of meeting someone at this stage in my life. But right now it's just kind of like I'm in that figuring things out phase. That's the ugly phase, right? That's the ugly phase. Where you're just figuring life out. But yeah, you keep working, you keep fighting, you keep striving, and eventually you blossom from your little cocoon. C'est la vie, huh? C'est la vie, such is life. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. I think it's just natural. It's not good, it's not bad. It is what it is. I like the idea that I have time to figure things out. I like the idea that, generally speaking, men in their 20s are lost. And they usually only figure things out much later in life. You do get the guys who figure things out in their 20s. I hope I become one of those guys. You know how cool it would be? How proud of myself I'd be if I'm like, I figured things out in my 20s. That'd be awesome. But that's not what generally happens. Generally, it takes a lot of time. So you have to be okay with either scenario. I'd prefer the the first scenario where I figure things out while I'm still youthful, but I also accept the other scenario where it takes more time. Let me know what you think in the comments. Today's video seems like it's going to be a bit shorter. Is there anything else I want to talk about? I think I've kind of exhausted that conversation. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd really like to know. Let's have some dialogue. Let's have some dialogue. Let's have some dialogue. Don't forget to like and comment. Always helps. Subscribe always helps. When you drop your little likes, pushes me in the algorithm. So please leave a like. And you can drop like a heart emoji, I guess. We're talking about love. So you can drop a heart emoji if you made it all the way to the end. If you're listening to this right now, drop a little heart emoji, and I'll know that you watched the whole video. Okay. Oh, wait a second. I actually wanted to talk about something. Wait, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, so the other day I saw something where this woman was complaining about men's insistence on sex in marriage, right? And it got me thinking. So yeah, I've said multiple times on this channel about how I want to be in a marriage that is highly sexually active, right? But I've also said that, the best way to get that is to look for the woman that wants the same thing. So that's why I said, like, before I get married to any woman, I'll put that on the table. Like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I don't think it's a deal breaker necessarily if she's like not super into the idea. It depends on her other qualities. If she just fulfills all these other areas to high extents, then maybe I can compromise. But what I want is a highly sexually active marriage. I think most men want that, but it's not even necessarily about because the woman was saying like, oh, men are childish. It's like a childish teenage boy fantasy and all these sorts of things, right? And it's crazy to me that just having these desires and wanting to be fulfilled in that regard is like there's something wrong with that. Because obviously women have so many expectations for their men, and so many things we're expected to do regardless of. We're not supposed to put ourselves first in that regard. We're just supposed to make our woman happy, and I agree we should make our woman happy. But then when we want things that make us happy, it's a problem. And we should stop being childish. I think obviously relationships are give and take, and you have to put the other person first, right? Within reason, of course. You don't want to be too demanding. You don't want to be. You don't want to like drain your partner. But the number I put out there was like 3 to 4 times a week, which is just a number. Like, life is life. Sometimes this schedule conflicts, things happening. So obviously it's not always going to be that, but generally speaking, lots of sex. And I'd want a woman that wants that, but obviously, even if you do want the same thing, you also have to commit to it. It's about the commitment. It's about, we're going to commit to a highly sexually active marriage, because sometimes in many areas of your relationship you're not going to feel like doing certain things, and you have to really honor the commitment. I'm not always going to feel like being romantic. I'm not always going to feel like being patient. I'm not always going to feel like this, feel like that. Even if you put the shoe on the other foot, let's say I'm working all the time and I'm not home, and she's getting lonely, and I'm not fulfilling her sexually, and I'm just tired, I'm like this and I'm like that, and it becomes this stretched out thing, and it becomes a recurring theme in our relationship. Do I just say, babes, I'm tired, you're just gonna have to deal with it? Or do I put her first and say, you know what, I value my marriage, I want it to be happy, I'm going to find the energy, I'm going to try my best to be there for her in the ways that she needs me to be there for her. I know that I've been working up until late this whole week, but when was the last time I took her out on a date? It's been so long since we went on a date together. Even though I'm tired and I just wanted to spend the weekend relaxing, let me put her first, because she's feeling like she's not getting a lot out of this relationship as of late. Like, these are the sort of sacrifices you make in a marriage, right? And you do this to make it work, and that's how you maintain that spark that people always like to talk about. But when you get lazy and complacent, that's how you end up in these marriages where you're like, oh, it used to be so nice at the beginning, but it's not so nice anymore. It's not as magical, it's not as colorful. Now it just feels very mechanical and yada yada yada. That happens when you stop trying, when you start making excuses. Just waiting for this thing to time out. It's gonna just cut randomly. So brace it. Okay. It looks like it happened. So yeah, like, even as a man, there'll be situations where I have to put her first and do things that I wouldn't want to do in the moment. Maybe I'm tired, maybe I'm just not in the mood, whatever the case may be. But you remember your commitment and you honor the commitment. So women sometimes take it the wrong way when they hear me say that about sex in particular, because that's a touchy subject these days. It's like, oh, bodily autonomy and that, all these conversations. So they take it to a very weird place and make it sound like I'm saying something that I'm not saying, like I'm forcing her or something. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that marriage is all about sacrifice. Marriage is all about commitment. Marriage is all about people putting your partner first, and if you all do that for each other, that's how you have this truly wonderful thing where you're taking care of each other. When you're operating purely on how you feel, it's very hard to be productive in any realm of life. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you do something according to how you feel, it's very, very difficult to make any serious headway. So sometimes you just gotta be like, the feeling will come as I do the thing, as I commit. And you know what? It's less about, because I kind of said half jokingly in one of my previous videos that I released this week that, oh, I'm a man, I've got needs, I've got requirements. It's not even necessarily about needs. I could go once every 2 weeks or something. I can have sex once every 2 weeks, or whatever the number is, and I'll be fine, I guess. But it's about what I want. What I want is a very intimate relationship. I like the idea that me and my wife are highly intimate and physical with each other. I like the image of that. I want that because of what it represents. And there's obviously copious literature out there that supports this idea that couples who have frequent sex tend to stay together more often. If you're just more intimate with your partner, you're likely to stay together and all these things. It represents something. It represents closeness. So that's why, and I just don't want to lose that adventure. I don't want to lose that spice. I don't want to lose that that attraction. So I feel like when we're constantly engaging with each other in that realm, we keep things fresh and spicy and interesting, and continue to look at each other in that way. And and the marriage doesn't devolve into this automatic process in which you're just falling into some rhythmic motion. You're not really conscious of what's happening, and you're not really enjoying what's happening. It's just kind of like this monotonous train. You know what I'm saying? So that's why for me, I value that level of intimacy, and I want that level of intimacy. I think it represents something beautiful. It also represents submission from the wife. Like that might rub people the wrong way. It is what it is. I think a woman that's willing to just say, you know what, my man wants this, my husband wants this, I'll give it to him. That's very attractive. Where she's just willing to submit and fulfill your requests. Oh, again, I know that sounds crazy to some people, but yeah. Being the head of the household comes with so many responsibilities. It's very hard to take care of an entire family and to lead and make decisions that affect the entire family. And I do think there should be rewards for that. And I like the idea that your wife can just be like, I'm willing to serve you. I like that. It doesn't make her less than you, but I'm just saying it's the attitude, it's the understanding of the sacrifice that's being made on your part day in, day out, and what can she do to honor you. And it's like, if he wants whatever he wants, I'm willing to give it to him. Obviously trusting that he's not going to hurt you and do anything that puts you in a jeopardized position and all that stuff. So yeah. But anyway, I think I've laid out my case thoroughly, and hopefully people can understand where I'm coming from in that regard. Because I've just seen a lot of women mouthing off on the topic, and it's a source of great contention. But I don't think it needs to be. Let me know what you think about that. Hopefully, without cussing me out, if you're a lady, if you can just have like a reasonable discussion, like where you ask sincere questions and you can try keep it cordial, that'd be great. Because every conversation I've had about this topic, at least here on this channel, has always been like a bit wild. So yeah, it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, now let me pray and get out of here. Dear God, thank you for this individual watching this right now. Thank you for making them whole and unique and guide them in a path towards peace, prosperity, and purpose. Thank you for blessing the wonderful people in their life, and love them and take care of them, bring the best out of them. Thank you for maintaining the ones that are there to do the same thing. Thank you for blessing this individual with a spirit of gratitude, so they can give thanks for all the wonderful things in their life, and by giving thanks, they can find peace, contentment, and attract even more blessings. Just let your presence be felt in this individual's life, so they know that you're God, that you're real, that you're taking care of them, that you're loving them, and that you're always there for them. Good health, long life, and happiness over this person and everyone they care about. In your mighty name I pray, in Jesus' name I pray, in Jesus' name I pray, in Jesus' name I pray.